No, but contradict this fact. From the time your party took over, he's saying the country's lost 1.6 trillion from its economy. That's what he said.
What do you expect them to say?
At the dollar rate.
What do you expect them to say? They have nothing to offer. I thought they would just go and sit down. What they do is to, one morning, they will just come and put something on paper.
But
It's not true. It's not true. Leave it. We are coming. It's just 3 months.
Okay, he also said your party took over the naira against the dollar at 197.
That is also not true.
Now it's 220.
Over 220.
Don't ever go that side. They are using, round tripping, stealing oil, making dollars, using it to sustain economy. But on the surface, it looks as if you are having economy, but underground there was nothing. They didn't hand over anything except a collapsed house that they handed over. Distorted economy, destroyed economy, looted economy, pillaged the economy, gang raped the economy. That's what they gave us.
I think Nigerians are tired.
Hold on.
Nigerians are tired
of
this blackmail. Nigerians are interested in the change that you have.
We give it to you.
You have showed to them that you can give.
And
let me tell you, your own case now is the case of, God forbid, somebody goes to the hospital, very ill, almost dying. And you, unlike even that man that goes to the hospital, your own party came to Nigerians like a doctor will come to your home to say that I can treat this ailment. And then when you get there, what you start doing is to say that this ailment was caused by this, Okay, diagnose and treat this ailment.
We are dealing
within 100 days, there are things that you ought to have done, which you have not been able to do. And you still think that the propaganda that you'll be doing, Nigerians still believe in it.
When I saw you here this evening, I was wondering what you have come
Nigerians are tired.
To come and sell
Nigerians
PDP.
want the change to start manifesting.
To come and sell PDP.
Gentlemen. All right. Mr. Ebukwe,
you don't have any job.
Mr. Ebukwe, when you gave your opening statement, you said, what the last administration couldn't do in 6 years, APC is done in 100 days. Please expatiate on that.
Before the coming of APC, we don't know how much that is coming to the federal government. We run a mono economy, that's oil. NNPC will sell and decide what will go to the federal government and what will go into their pockets. That's what we're living with. We don't know who is lifting oil, who is selling, where is it being sold. We don't know. You see, foreign reserve, we know how much we had there. We don't know how the thing depleted. Even when we were selling oil at lower prices, it was high. By the time oil hit 125, 130, it just came down by half, $32 billion from 64, almost 64. We don't know what is happening. If you need to take into consideration everything, our thinking is that, we just ran away with the thinking there was no government in place. I was reading one professor this evening, he said, apparently, this man called Jonathan, the former president, didn't know what was going on. He didn't understand the nitty-gritty of governance. He was just there. He didn't know what was happening. So these are the things that this man has been trying to perfect. And if anybody looks at the system today and says, oh, nothing is going on, nothing has been done, maybe you're looking for tangibles. Like I said, there are intangibles. What we inherited is a poisoned, chalice. Let me just put it that way. If you know the rot in the system. So I'm surprised that PDP will come here and say, in 3 months you have not done anything.
In spite
have
of
you
the fact
ever
that,
finished clearing
in spite of the fact that
behind?
there is no cabinet, you've been able to pinpoint the decay in the system. That's what you're saying.
What do you even talk? Why do you even talk about cabinet? It doesn't stop the system from going. The permanent secretaries are there. That's why they are called permanent secretaries. The directors are there. These are the engines that drive the process. The commissioners and ministers are just political heads. They don't even see checks. Their own is to communicate what is happening to the commission. So you can don't even think about the man.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Right.
I'm coming. Let me just land.
Land.
The man Buhari is the most prepared president to govern this country.
Thank you.
Since inception. Okay. Since inception of Nigeria.
Gani.
And I can give you history.
Obviously not. And you see, we are interested in educating Nigerians and our viewer. We have a responsibility to make sure that what the PDP government in the last 16 years have been able to do from the start, which was to stabilize our democracy, which we did very well, and which is being threatened now by the character of the APC and the development of the country in so many other ways, we believe that we have a duty to make sure that not only that we will be more even patriotic than when we were in government, but that Nigerians must know the difference between this APC and the PDP. And that is why you see us, we want to listen to APC and we challenge them. You have not been able to specifically mention what the APC has been able to do within 100 days, which the PDP could not do in 6. No, what he said, it was just rhetoric. Like saying that we didn't know how much. I mean, that would be very elementary and very laughable for us to say that we don't even know how much we realize in this country. You understand? Everybody knows that it was on basis of that you even campaigned against us, that people should not vote for us because we were collecting so much. It was because, I mean, the statistics were there. You could say that Nigeria was lifting so amount of crude oil and then selling, and it was an international thing. So you are just saying this because you couldn't bring up something. And I'm saying that what we have been able to do, rather, within the 100 days, is to destabilize this country, is to divide this country along ethnic, along tribal, along religious. You understand? A situation where today you are not even comfortable with being a Nigerian because you will be very careful. When you get to a part of the country, you will be very careful to disguise. Otherwise, you may not see the good face of those people. And what are we saying? Within 100 days, if you don't have a cabinet at the federal level, your president cannot give Nigerians a cabinet. It is an aberration. The Constitution says there is no justification for it. The Constitution emphasizes, specifically states that there must be a cabinet. We are operating
for how long?
No, it's not about.
For how long? Tell us. Within 1 week?
The intendment is that once the government is inaugurated, the only thing that will have caused a delay will be that you do not have a Senate, which the Constitution also says that must ratify, must clear your ministers. We've had this Senate inaugurated for how long? So you see,
let me address you.
That's a minus.
Let me address
That's a minus. And Nigerians are not happy. That is why
PDP that governed Nigeria for 16 years.
Yes.
Couldn't just give us anything. You can't point to anything. You can say they are one of their leaders. One of their leaders.
They are not being honest. And I'm sure that after this time out, you will go in the corner of your room to pray for forgiveness. Today you are celebrating within 100 days. The only thing you are celebrating is that there is an improved power supply. But the improved power supply was put down by the PDP administration. Now when we came out, and let Nigerians know that we did it, and you now change the argument. And you now say that yes, you did it, but because of the fear of General Buhari, that is why the power. And it's not nonsensical.
It's not nonsensical.
The power supply is engineering.
The shadow of the man.
And it was the PDP administration that did it.
The man's body language. So the man's courage, the man's honor, the man's integrity has.
You are saying you want to fight corruption. Let us even
one second. So it's the persona of the president that has brought about change in the power sector.
Yes.
There's more power now.
How?
But he's saying that
you must show
his
that
party
now.
put the foundation, laid out the foundation.
They inherited 3,000 megawatts.
It was less than 3,000. In 1999, it was 700 megawatts.
You could only
and it was something that was destroyed by the military, which this president was part of. You see, this is not campaign, but we must make our point there.
And for 16 years, we were able to build 2,000. Let's say we have 5,000. Then they were celebrating that they were getting something there too.
We handed over the power sector with well over 4,600 megawatts.
Trillions. You now have 2,000. Recently, our team of experts met a company, and we told them that we want 20,000 megawatts. And we asked them the duration. They said 5-6 years.
Yes, because we have bought, because President Jonathan has bought all of these things.
For 16 years, you could only provide 2,000. We were not in charge.
But he's saying...
Because President Jonathan has bought all these things already.
No, it's not even from
the power sector machine is not something you just go on the shelf and get.
20,000. And they said 6-7 years they will give it to us. So in 16 years, we're able to invite this.
Hold on. Everything to allow that has already been done by the PDP administration. The unbundling of the power sector is already done. It's concluded.
Let him talk.
It's
concluded. Let the moderator do his work. I still want to respond to that.
I thought you were going to moderate now.
No.
Let me ask him a question. I want to
ask your question so that I'll go on break.
Yes, I want to ask you a question. Mr. Joe Igbokwe, we are discussing the 100 days with no cabinet, minus or plus. Please justify again why you think that we may not have cabinet at the federal level within 100 days because you have taken over from PDP. But in Lagos State, where you have taken over from yourself yet, we still do not have cabinet. Please rationalize that.
How many states? How many
that
states?
Is why we say you have contradictions.
Their cabinet. How many states?
If I begin to walk naked on the street, should you now walk naked on the street?
Let me tell you. Let me talk. You see,
Mr. Igbokwe, please just hold on. We'll take a moment and come back to continue the conversation. Please don't go away.